off today's video with some flying right at the start, but obviously I'm not flying my typical 5-inch GoPro carrying mini quad. I'm flying my new micro setup. This is the Driblet. This is my new frame that just came out. This frame is made to spin 2-inch propellers. It's very small in size. I wanted it to have this like swoop design to protect the camera. It's not the lightest frame, but it was meant to like take a beating. I wanted to do micro freestyle and be able to bash it around and not worry about breaking stuff. There's some similarities between my micro frame and my full 5-inch frame, the Skyliner. The attachment scheme for like the vertical pieces, it's almost the same. In fact, I was actually working on this frame before the Skyliner. So maybe that'll reveal to you just how long I was kind of toying around with this thing. But as I was working on the swoop design for the micro frame, I started thinking, oh, I kind of want to do that with a full-size frame. So then I turned my attention to the Skyliner and forgot about this, and just back and forth. And now the Driblet is finally out, well after a year from when I started playing with it. But I'm pretty proud of this thing. It's compact, but still pretty roomy, so you can fit your electronics. I've got 2 boards in there right now, the 4-in-1 ESC and a flight controller. I think you might be able to fit 3 boards, meaning that if you got one of the new RunCam micro split setups where it does HD as well as the FPV camera and just has like an additional board, you might be able to get HD video out of this. But I haven't messed with it because that's not why I designed it. I just really enjoy flying this thing for the sake of flying it. Whenever I'm flying one of my 5-inch drones, I'm always rolling the GoPro, I'm always recording. And even if I say I'm just flying for fun, it's always in the back of my head that, you know, I'm thinking about the footage that I'm getting. And so it changes how I fly. And when I fly this thing, it's just about the enjoyment of flying. The build is really straightforward. You mount your camera between the 2 vertical pieces. There's 20x20 and 16x16 mounting holes. So there are some new 4-in-1s and flight controllers that are a 16x16 pattern, like the, what is it, the newbie drone Hive. I'm still mainly using 20x20, and if you're using the 20x20 pattern, this frame actually supports both M2 and M3 because the 20x20 boards are a little fractured in terms of what hardware size they use. The way that works is the holes are sized for M3 bolts, but the frame comes with little soft mount gummies that will step down the hole to an M2, which means if you're using M2 flight controller and 4-in-1, you actually get the whole stack soft mounted, just like on the Skyliner. Then as far as video transmitter and receivers go, I'll usually just kind of wrap them up in a little like electrical tape pouch in between the 2 side plates. It works really well, easy to do, easy to work on. Of course, I'm using Hype Train DAB motors, which is an 1104 7500 kV, which is perfect for a 2-inch prop on a 3S battery. So that's the Driblet frame. It's a really simple, really fun 2-inch frame that I love these little micros. And one of the best things about them is that you can fly them in more places than you can fly your 5-inch. This church spot is something that I drive by all the time, and it looks like it would be a really interesting place to fly, but this is not an appropriate place to fly a 5-inch. The architecture, it's too small actually. There's not enough room here, and it's next to a main road. But for the Driblet, as you can see, it's a pretty sweet spot. excellent little rip session. Driblet is live, link in the description if you want to get one for yourself and build one up. Maybe I'll do a build video on Road Ride. Leave a comment if I should do a build video for one of these things. Alright, thank you guys for hanging out and checking out my new frame. Wanted to end this video with a little secret about the name Driblet. It's actually borrowed from something I designed years ago. When I first got into RC stuff, I was already into 3D printing, so one of the first things I started doing was trying to print out little drone frames. And I was flying like a micro, what was it, a Blade Nano QX, and so I started making frames for that, and I called it the Driblet. And gosh, I should have printed one to show you. I think it's still on Thingiverse. Look at that, there it is. December 22nd, 2015. Oh my god, I didn't realize I've been doing this stuff for that long. That's funny. Okay, I will leave a link in the description to this if you have a 3D printer and you'd like to download and print your own OG Driblet frame. I've even got like the components listed. All this stuff is so outdated, but it's awesome to get to make much better designs out of actual carbon fiber now. Like, obviously I've been into kind of making and designing things ever since I got into all of this, and now to be able to work with companies and actually bring this stuff out and get to share it with people, it's really amazing. Big thanks to XHover for making this frame with me. If you guys get one, please tag me on Instagram or something so I can check out your build. Appreciate the support so much. I'll see you again soon.